So 12.5 laps here. And it's Roderick, the favourite, straight into the lead. She'll just be looking to take the win here with tough conditions. You have to do something very, very special here to run under that 1640 if you haven't done it already. And there's Roderick straight in control of this race.
Well, it's not the conditions, is it, for a time? It's probably not the day to be going and chasing without the pace in it. But having said that, Roderick looks like she's quite happy to go out there and make the pace. She's got that lovely long stride, forward lean. She's been having a fantastic year. She's actually a junior coach at Up and Running, which is a run group in Centennial Park. So she loves her athletics and is doing some coaching as well. But she's a talent.
Well, she's got speed over the 3,000 metres too, Roderick. 9:26 athlete.
Which she did at Sydney Track Classic when she came towards the back of the field, but she's only so young. And that was an incredibly talented lineup. And that was actually a really tough way to run a 3,000 from memory. They went slower and then kicked it down. It was a real championship style of race, that Sydney Track Classic Women's 3,000. So she would have gained a lot of experience from that, but she's not leaving it to chance, which is quite smart. When you are the fastest person in the race, sometimes if you slow it down, you bring it back to the kickers. But she does have that time. She has that ability to chill out. But I love that about some of our youth. They don't overthink it. They just run how they know.
Well, she didn't contest the 3,000 metres here at the championships, but she did run the 1,500 metres, which was another event where she's got to qualify. She was actually 6th in that race, the 4:26. So,
and that's the one that Claudia and Nicola came first and second. Claudia Hollingsworth and Nicola Hogg. That was an incredible race to watch. You know, that was one of those races where you've got a heap of qualified athletes and only 2 spots, and so athletes will have great success. The 2 who crossed the line and got those positions for Cali for the World Juniors, or you have that disappointment, which then, like we said before, it's how you bounce back from that disappointment. And it's not disappointment, guys, because you're still one of the top juniors in the country, and it's an incredible effort to get this far.
We look at that 1,500 metre final, the first 8 all got to qualify.
Ridiculous. Wow, do you know what? People like Lyndon Hall, Jess Hull, they're really setting the example and the tone for our middle distance women coming through. They know that we can make Olympic finals. We can compete on the global stage. And when you see an Australian doing that, it does make it feel like you've got that ability to be able to replicate it. But isn't she just running a dominating race here? She's gone straight to the front, and she's obviously got a race plan where she wants to hit a certain target for her kilometres, and she's going to be chasing her own race plan and just running the way she knows how.
Yeah, 3:08.99 for the first K. It's actually pretty quick, let's say. Now, looks like they've gone back to the small hip numbers again, which are pretty tough for us right up to the back of Bay 11.
Dear. It's okay. Well, the other athletes to look for in this race, one of them is the Queenslander, Gabrielle Schmidt. She's only young. She's very young. She's 06 born.
16-year-old. She's the second fastest in the field, just under 17 minutes. The only other athlete under 17 minutes.
She's a bit of a talent, though, isn't she? I mean, she was 3rd in the 800 at the under-17 champs, 2nd in the 1,500. She ran the Queensland State 3,000 champs in the Open, was that? Yeah, she came 5th. So she obviously prefers the longer distances.
Well, this is the first year that she would be able to contest this.
Which is smart.
In the right age group. So,
yeah.
Obviously being 16, they don't run it as an under. The 5,000 metres is not an under 18 event. But Roderick, she's in a race of her own here. There is a group of 5 athletes who are fighting out for 2 medals, it seems, at the moment.
Do you not think it's a little bit dangerous at times? Because she is out there. She's obviously got great confidence at the moment, but the pack that's chasing her has 5 girls in it, which means they can work together. And it's still, you know, there's still 8 laps to go.
She just wants to win.
Less than 9.
Less than 9. There we go. Look.
8 and a bit. She does want to win, and it shows great guts and determination because it's the hardest way to run a race on your own. I mean, all the distance athletes will say that if you're out there on your own for the whole of the race with no company, then that's really difficult. And throw in the gusty winds that we're dealing with today, that makes it even tougher. And then throw in the pressure of the fact that it's a championship race, that if you win it, you've got that World Junior qualifier, you get to go overseas and be part of an Australian team. She's just got to really practice being in her own mindset. There's going to be times in a distance race where negativity will creep in and you have to block it out and just keep focusing on, you know, we speak to some of the distance runners about what do you do when, you know, you're deep in the race or you're early in the race and you start to have self-doubt. They just talk about focusing on the next 100, focusing on their form, making sure that they're doing the checks. Am I relaxed? Is my mouth nice and relaxed? Is my shoulders nice and relaxed? Am I coming off the ground nicely? And that's what she'll be doing when she has those negative thoughts. Some people just sing. Everyone's got different techniques to get through a long distance race, but you can see the chasing pack still has those 5 athletes working together. At the moment, they'll be thinking about the 2nd and 3rd medals, but you just never know. It is a long way from home.
Yeah, I think that chase group will just be working together, try and conserve energy to see how far through this field they can get. Not letting Roderick get too far ahead. We just saw a pole vault attempt. 3:25 on the bar for Anae Fitzpatrick. Let's see who else is left in that pole vault competition. As you can see the flames roaring, and there's that 3:25 on the bar as Roderick comes around into the home straight. 7 laps to go. And we missed what her split was through that K, but that's fine.
Well, let's look at the distance that she's got to see if they ever eat into the lead. She's going to come through now with 7 laps to go. And you'd say that the chasing pack is probably about 50 metres behind?
Yes.
Counting those 10-metre increments, yes. About 50 metres. So we'll just keep an eye on that as you see. I think it's Schultz.
Well, it would be the New South Wales athlete in 2nd. We've got a new uniform this year that does look, they've jumped away from the light blue.
I think it's Alexandra Schultz in 2nd. I'll try and have a better look. But it looks like her from here. And she's starting to make that chase. So it's still that 50-metre gap, but she's starting to break away from the women, and it's down to a 4 chasing pack. But she's definitely upping that tempo and trying to make sure that she tries her best to try and latch on, because Laura Roderick is definitely setting the tempo, and it's a great tempo. It's going to be a fast race if she can hold this up. Let's see, as she comes into the front straight, Roderick, she's still got that nice, relaxed, open stride. She's got the wide arm action where it's just they're just down low because she's just using them as balances.
So,
no.
Iaccardos.
Here we go. Got it wrong. Sorry. Iaccardos was number 9, not number 8. My eyes are going.
Looks like Ashley Candy just off the back there. Schmidt as well.
Well, Ashley Candy's the WA athlete who has done some PBs this year over 800 and 1500.
And it's Hannah Anderson in that group just
Schmidt.
in 2nd place, and Schmidt just off the back.
Okay, perfect.
So there we go, the nice zoom in. The hip numbers doing some problems, but Iaccardos from New South Wales holding down that 2nd place position. Anderson, Candy, and then Schmidt.
Well, Iaccardos has been the brave one in this 2nd pack. She knows, you know, she could sit in there and she could chase for those silver and bronze medals, but she's starting to up the tempo and try and see if she can not only run the sting out of some of the athletes that are in the pack with her so that she definitely gets a medal as she taps on that watch like so many distance athletes do, even though the clocks are out there, just to double check.
Can't help it.
It's such a habit, isn't it?
So Candy just making a move around Anderson to sit behind Iaccardos. And they come around, feel like it might just, if it's changed, it's only been a metre either way.
See, and that's the thing. They've got each other to work for. So Roderick did the work early, and now she's able to have maybe perhaps a little bit of a breather. Just hold that tempo nice and smoothly and then really focus on the run home. But it's an interesting tactic when you are the athlete with that standard and the favourite for the race.
Yeah, so 9:57 through 3,000 metres. And she is pushing hard here to try and extend that gap.
So Anderson's at the back of that pack that we're looking in the bottom right-hand box. She's the New South Wales, she at the state champs, she came 5th in the 3,000. She's run a few open races this year of 5,000 as well. Oh no, actually she won the 5,000 champs. Do they have that? Do they have it? They don't have an.
Yeah, under 25,000
Under 20. No, I think she must have run open. She must have run the open one. But she's done PBs this season over the 3 and the 5,000. So she's in shape. She knows she's in shape. Ashley Candy, she's only young. She's only 17. The West Australian, who's in the black in the middle. The 2 New South Wales athletes. Just biding her time. Now Leah Cardos is doing some great work. She's doing all the work in that second pack. She's the one who's making the chase, and she's been very brave for a few laps now, and she's actually looking quite good. But Candy's just trailing her and just nice and relaxed. But it's all about the leader, Roderick, the Randwick Botany Club athlete. Just, honestly, she's just hitting those paces, isn't she?
Yeah, it's like a juggernaut. And I think it was just the first move.
Yeah.
In, say, laps 1, 2, and 3, that has not changed much more. So they're both hitting the same pace, but they just can't seem to cut much in. Maybe they're starting to 4 to 5 metres now. It looks like they might be dropping Hannah Anderson, and Candy now coming up onto the shoulder of Cardos as they're about to pick up some of our lapped runners here. But I'd say they might have eaten a few metres into it. It might not be enough.
I think they're working really hard together now. You can see that Leah Cardos, Candy's come up to the shoulder of her, and she wants to push the tempo now, which means that Leah Cardos has reacted, and so their tempo has definitely picked up. Candy is definitely now making the run and chase, but I'm very impressed by Leah Cardos. She's not going anywhere. And what about Anderson? You thought she was gone, but she's still hanging in there, isn't she?
She is, and honestly, it's still 50 metres. That nothing has changed in these laps, and we'll see what they go with 1K to go. The 1,200 metres left.
Yep.
We'll see what their 1K split is. Well, this is the medal. This is the medal move for Anderson right now. If she can get on the back of this, she'll get herself into a medal position. But if she can't attach herself to this group, she might as well say goodbye to a medal.
Oh, and that's the hard thing, isn't it? That's the point where you've got a few laps where you know that you've really put in, but you just dropped off the back and you finish in that horrible 4th position, which, you know what, it's not that horrible. To come 4th in the country is still incredible.
That's Anais Fitzpatrick over there in our women's under 17 pole vault competition.
This is a really incredible race by Laura Roderick. I can't emphasize enough just how difficult it is to go straight to the front and run a race like this, to be that mentally tough that you're able to just focus on your own game plan and just pretty much just go out there and hit the targets that you and your coach will have set. It's an incredible piece of distance running, and for somebody so young, just fabulous. And she's got that buffer that she's held pretty much, like you said, since the start that she made it. Now she's able to see that there's only 2 laps to go. It's 800 metres. She can start to open up when she feels like, sees that finish line, so she can start to bring her arms into it and do that sprint. But she's really, done the hard yards to get that win.
So big clearance there. It looks like 340 on the bar, so getting close to her personal best for Anais Fitzpatrick. Roderick put in another 10 metres into those girls there. I
think Roderick's coach is on the sidelines there, and when she ran past, she had a look. They must have yelled out to her. She actually turned across and had a look.
So I think this gap is actually opening up, and it just shows the strength of Roderick that she can keep this pace going and going and going. It might have even opened up to 70 metres.
Yep.
As Iliakos And Anderson's in the bronze medal position. They've dropped Candy off the back of the pack there. We'll have a good look when they come into the home straight. It's almost up into 80 to 90 metres now. So it just shows the strength of Roderick and what she's put in these last couple of laps as they pick up a few more of our lapped runners.
Interesting. It looks like, now how do we say, I think it's Iakatos, isn't it? Iakatos. I think Iakatos is doing such a fabulous job here. She's done a lot of the work. And she's now making the run for that silver with Anderson, who's come back in.
Yeah, we thought we lost her. We said just only a few laps ago that if she didn't get on the back of that pack, she could wave goodbye to a medal, and she responded to it. So Iakatos and Anderson, they're 2 and 3 at the moment. They're a good 75 to 80 metres behind Roderick, and unfortunately Candy will not have it in the bag this afternoon in this 5,000 metres. But it's 250 metres left to go for Laura Roderick. And this will secure her the gold medal and selection to the World Under-20 Championships in the 5,000 metres to Cali in Colombia. We're looking up the altitude of Cali, 1,400 metres above sea level, so well, thereabouts. So it'd be tough running anything over probably 800 metres, really.
Yeah, well, she'll be fine. Laura will be absolutely fine because Roderick has just shown us today that she's made of the tough stuff by the way that she's raced.
So if you look over to the backstraight, we see a good clearance there from Pape Silva. But Anderson has gone into the silver medal position around the bend. So we thought we'd lost her, and now she's going to grab the silver. Iakatos will grab the bronze, but there it is, 1650 for Roderick, all by herself, and she turns around straight away to cheer home her teammates. She's pretty pumped there. And Anderson, Hannah Anderson, she'll do a personal best here by about 10 seconds. There's the silver medal, and Iakatos, she's going to make it, and she'll even knock off a few seconds off her personal best too, almost 15 to 16 seconds.
Wow.
New South Wales takes the trifecta, and you can just see the legs.
They're absolutely spent, and so these girls should be, because that was just a brilliant race to watch of just mental toughness and strength. You know, let's not discount Ashley Candy really put in a great effort to try and fight for those medals. She's absolutely spent. She has nothing left to give, and she's going to pretty much just walk across the line, but don't let it be discounted that she really gave everything to try and fight for that medal. She desperately wanted it. But the New South Wales girls, you can see they've got absolutely nothing left. It was lovely to see Laura Roderick give the fist pump because she earned it.
Well, she's had a tough week, like throwing herself in the mix of that 1,500.
Yeah.
She could have qualified, but she was 6th place.
You know, maybe it was a smart move because she needed to put some speed into her legs before this 5,000. Knowing the way that she was going to do it, she might have just wanted to get some of the nerves, blow out some cobwebs, because it's a big deal. You know, some of these athletes, they haven't fought for teams yet, you know, and especially with COVID, they haven't had the even younger championships to do. So for some of them, it's the biggest occasion of their athletic careers so far, where they've had to put themselves out there and try and make a world championship team after world junior team after having the qualifications. And you know, when there's a few athletes qualified, then it's stressful. So Roderick and her coach might have just worked out that you run the 1,500, run some cobwebs out, you get your speed up, and then we'll just attack the plan for the 5,000. Just a fabulous piece of distance running, and well done to Laura Roderick and her coach.
Well, it was a good plan. It was quite a gap before this anyway. So, you know, the 3,000 metres actually was last night.
Yeah.
So to do the 3.5 double would have been really difficult. So a lot of the girls did the 15.3.
Yep.
Or the 15.8. But to do the 3.5, which are very, very similar.
Yeah.
So to make a call, and, you know, being the only athlete that's qualified, I think that makes the call for you as well.
I quite like the fact that it was almost impossible to do the 3,000, 5,000 double.
It's probably good.
Because I think as a junior, it's too much.
It's a lot.
To do both.
You can see that the World Athletics, when they removed the 10,000 metres from the World Under-20 Championships for the men. So it's 8, 15, 3, 5. That's all they have.
It's perfect, because that's all you need as a junior. You know,